Welcome back, guys, to another 40k update from Battleforge Brothers. Well, say it's an update, it's not really an update. So, if you've already watched our latest update, you'll see that Graham came up with an idea for our own kind of little league / tournament. We now have a name for it. We are going to call it Battles at the Bunker. So, obviously, what we're going to do is we're kind of going to do this as like a football league, so to speak. So each army that we have on the channel, we're going to pit against each other, and overall will be like an overall champion.
Yeah, so basically what you've got is you've got your brackets. Whoever wins out of the first, second, third bracket will then go in. So first, the winner out of the first battle will go in to face the winner out of the second battle, and so forth, until we filter it down to one winner.
Yeah. So we're going to do this each year. Obviously, each year, there'll be more armies added to it. Things like, next year, Plastic Sisters. Yay! Things like that.
I think it's going to happen.
It's been confirmed, man.
The trolling.
Imperial Knights are getting more stuff, so Graham no doubt will be expanding his Knights, maybe things like that, and who knows what's on the horizon. But at the moment, what we're going to do is, there's a couple of adjustments that we kind of have had to do for the way that the league works, because we've got an odd number. So what we've done is we've broke it down. So at the start of the league, there's 8, factions, I want to say. So for example, the Chaos, we've got Chaos as a faction rather than Thousand Sons and Death Guard. Now obviously Graham, you haven't seen his Death Guard, but the way we're going to do it is, if we say pull out Chaos Force, that could be a choice between my Thousand Sons or Graham's Death Guard. There'll be no mixed in regards to, if you pull out Chaos, you can't choose both. It has to be one or the other. Each force that we choose as well, so let's just say we pull out Ultramarines, Graham will construct a 2,000 point list, and that will be that list for the whole, all the way through. Some of the smaller forces, things like Orcs, for example, they'll be pretty much the only forces that will drop the points down slightly, but we'll give you all a heads up, before the battle as well, just to make things fair. It's no good putting the Orcs against things like all 3 or Thousand Sons, because they just get demolished by the points wise. So to make it fair, we'll obviously adjust things that way. One more faction as well, really, that we've kind of blended, isn't it? Which is, because we have my small Harlequin force, and then we have 2 other Eldar forces. We've got Graham's Iandon, and we've got my all 3. So to make it a little bit easier, what we're going to do is we're going to combine all 3 to Eldari. So if Eldari is pulled out, like I say, mainly for the Orcs, if the Orcs are pulled out, more than likely it'll be either a smaller Iandon, a smaller all 3, or the Harlequins against them.
Yeah.
And vice versa, if the Harlequins are pulled out against someone else, just to make things a little bit fair. But the main factions, like Thousand Sons, Imperium, like Ultramarines and Grey Knights,
they're all
Tyranids,
separate armies.
they're all separate armies, and they're going to be pretty much the bigger games.
And we've also combined our 2 Necron.
Yes, the dynasties.
Our 2 Necron armies into Necron dynasty.
Yeah. So my force, my Necrons, won't be using Graham's models, but if I wanted to use Graham's models, I would use his entire collection, just to make it differentiating. Now, just on top of that, obviously with Necrons being the new Codex just about to drop, which I'm really looking forward to, and so is Graham, of course. When we do the reports, because we are doing the first one tomorrow, which will be the 24th of March.
Yeah.
If Necrons do get drawn out, or any other force that gets drawn out that doesn't have a Codex yet, such as Harlequins and Orcs, Italian like Orcs are going to come out, we will stipulate at the beginning of each game whether it's index for that particular army or Codex. Mainly for Necrons, because they're due out in the next week or so.
Yeah.
So if they get drawn out now, it'll be an index game. Obviously the weeks after, it'll switch over to the Codex, just to give you guys all a heads up for that.
I think the majority of our forces
There's going to be Codex,
have got Codex. I think there's only maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. So we're going to show you obviously the league table, the way that we've kind of designed it. But I'll get up and record it that way on. rather than putting it up here on the tablet because it'll be difficult to see. So without further ado, we've got 3 piles in front of us. So we have the army pile, then we have deployment, and then we have a mixture of Eternal War and Maelstrom, just so to make things nice and mixed up a bit. So Graham's going to draw the first army out who will be fighting, and then I will draw the next army out, and we'll keep doing it until we have the first lot, and then we'll do subsequent update videos for who's going through the sort of like the semi-finals and the final. So Graham will draw the first one now.
Yep.
So just hold up the camera just so that you can see.
And we have Eldari.
Eldari. Okay, so that could, like I said earlier, that could be a combination. Okay. So the next one. So Eldari will be fighting orcs. Excuse our really poor writing. So that prime example, of course, will mean that the orcs will be a little bit under strength. So whichever Eldari force that we take will be, whether all 3 Iyanden or Harlequins, will drop the points down to match against them. So it's a little bit fairer.
Yeah.
So that's the first lot. So
we'll see.
See who's next for the deployment.
For the deployment that we'll be using on that army.
For that particular battle, yeah.
For that battle, which will be obviously filmed tomorrow. And we will be doing Hammer and Anvil.
Hammer and Anvil. Nice. And mission. Now this is a mix, like I say, of 12, because it could be Eternal War or it could be Maelstrom, which will be Cleanse and Capture. So that could be quite an interesting matchup.
So will the Orcs take out the Eldar on the first turn?
That'll be the very first. So for the next one after that.
So the next battle, which is yet to be determined when we're going to
the one that we just drew, that'll be recorded tomorrow.
Is the forces of Chaos.
Ooh. Chaos, so either Death Guard or Thousand Suns. Against.
Come on.
You really want this to be Imperium, don't you? That will be a Necron Dynasty. So probably by the time that the Necrons come to play, they will have their Codex.
Yeah.
And Graham will draw the deployment for this one.
The deployment will be Vanguard.
Vanguard Strike. Mission for these will be Secure and Control. Very cool. So 2 more to do at this stage, and then later on down the line we will do this again for the semi-finals, so to speak. So I'll let you choose the next army.
This will be the third battle.
I'm just going to shift these up a little bit because we're running out of room on the table.
Third battle will be Tau with their new Codex.
Ooh, Tau. Oh, please be Tyranids. Please be Tyranids, this would be great. Yes, it's Tyranids! These are not marked, they are Pantom. So, Tyranids.
And the deployment will be...
I feel all excited here. Spearhead Assaults. Nice. And mission. So we have a Maelstrom, an Eternal, and what's this one? Another Maelstrom. We have Deadlock. That'll be quite an interesting one against Tau and Tyranids.
And the next one,
which is this is going to be the last lot.
Grey Knights.
Grey Knights.
Which I think the last army.
Yep, the last army. Ultramarines. So the narrative of this is going to be a bit strange. We're not really going to do too much narrative on these. This is literally just each army going head on.
And there will be deploying
Search and Destroy. And finally, for mission type for these guys, will be another Maelstrom, Contact Lost. Very cool. So that is all of the first round. Obviously, each subsequent battle, which you guys will have the pleasure of watching, for each one as well, for each battle, definitely leave comments to say who you would like to see to win. We know that it's pre-recorded, so it's at the end, but it's always cool just to root for which army. So what we'll do is I'll quickly just pan out, take the camera off the tripod, give you a look at the way that it's wrote, excuse our really poor writing, and we'll also give you a look at the way that we're going to structure it. So we're back in 2 moments. Right guys, so unfortunately you can't see the finalised version on the laptop, tablet sorry, because we're having technical difficulties. Graham's Wi-Fi is cack. So this is the raw version. We will eventually get the other one sorted. So just to make is Eldari versus Orcs, Hammer and Anvil, leading in to a Maelstrom of War, Cleanse and Capture. Excuse my ridiculous writing. So, and then next, Chaos Necrons, Vanguard, Secure and Control, ET, obviously Eternal War mission, Tau versus Tyranids, Spearhead Assault, and Deadlock. And then last, Grey Knights and Ultramarines, Search and Destroy, and Contact Lost. So that's the way that it's going to pan out. Of course, the winners will go into the next draw and so forth, or leading all the way down. So that's just to give you a bit of a heads up that the way that the battles at the bunker are going to pan out. Like I say, in the future will be bigger because there'll be more armies to play around with. So that's pretty much it from us. So I'm going to end it on that note. So look forward to the first one, Eldari versus Orcs. And until next time, as always, happy wargaming.